NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Snowing since this morning here in Green Bay, 33 at the moment. Wind not bad, 10 miles an hour out of the northwest, and the outlook for snow the rest of the night. Jeff Saturday, 14th year in the league, first year with the Green Bay Packers. Their center moments ago spoke with Michelle.
Well, Jeff, the weather, we're getting a lot of snow here, a little bit of wind. This snow is expected to continue throughout the game. How might that affect what you guys can do on offense?
Well, obviously, both of us got to deal with it. So whoever handles the ball, make sure we protect it. We know it's going to get sloppy. It's going to get worse as the game goes on. But like I said, everybody's got to deal with it.
3 weeks ago, you had to deal with the Lions in Detroit, and you had to deal with Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley, and they were really disruptive toward your offensive line. How do you neutralize those two?
Well, both great players, obviously, and we need to take care of them. And we know what's before us. We're leading the division. We can gain another game by winning tonight. We know what's ahead. We got to go out and take care of those two guys. They're the dominating force on their defense.
Jeff, thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
And the Packers tonight are without 5 of their starters. 3 on the defensive side of the ball. Charles Woodson, Clay Matthews, and C.J. Wilson are out. And on offense, they're without wide receiver Jordy Nelson and running back James Starks. And right tackle T.J. Lang is active, but he won't start, which means undrafted rookie free agent Don Barclay will make his first NFL start. And Detroit Al is without starting free safety Louis Delmas and defensive tackle Corey Williams.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Roger's very happy that Delmas misses tonight's game. He's their best defensive back. Now, the Packers are 8-4. The Bears lost today, so they've lost 2 in a row. Green Bay can move in front by a full game, and they've already beaten Chicago once this year. Meet them next week. Minnesota winning today, staying alive in the playoff hunt, and then Detroit at 4-8. Mason Crosby will kick off for Green Bay. Stefan Logan will run it back for the Detroit Lions. Lambeau Field in the snow in December, and here we go on Sunday Night Football with a touchdown. And the Detroit Lions take over at the 20. Let's look at their starters.
Matthew Stafford, University of Georgia.
Michael LaShore, Champaign-Urbana.
Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech.
Chris Sturm, Georgia. Brandon Pettigrew, Oklahoma State.
Tony Scheffler, Western Michigan University.
Jeff Backus, Michigan.
Rob Sims, The Ohio State University.
Dominic Raiola, Nebraska.
Stephen Peterman, LSU Tigers.
Gosh DeSherlis, Boston College.
That line has played together for a long time. They're good, both in pass protection and in the run game, and they start with a run, and starting to stumble as he picks up about 4 yards is LaShore. So it'll be 2nd down and 6. Stafford right now on a pace to set a National Football League record, most passes in a season. He's averaging 44.5 per game. At this pace, 712, which would break the record set by Drew Bledsoe playing for the Patriots back in 1994 under Bill Parcells. From the 24, out of the shotgun. And on the ground again. And picking up about 1.5 yards is LaShore, the second-year back at Illinois. Missed all of last season with an Achilles injury. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, one of the problems, you're going to have to block these big guys inside. Ryan Pickett this time just gets a little penetration and throws the run play off. But clearly the Detroit Lions feel like they have to be able to run the football against this nickel defense. The Packers stayed in the nickel defense the entire time in this last game and were effective, and they have to be able to run them out of it.
They passed 93% of the time on 3rd down, and you might expect one here as well. Kevin Smith comes into the backfield to flank Stafford, who's protected well and then throws for a 1st down as the catch is made by Calvin Johnson at 6'5" and 236, having a sensational year and might break Jerry Rice's receiving yards record before it's all said and done.
Well, I think this guy right here is as good a football player as there is in the National Football League, and it's going to get some consideration this year for the MVP vote because he is on pace right now. You talked about it, but to pass Jerry Rice's single-season receiving record would just be phenomenal.
So now the Lions come up in the pistol. The short shotgun formation, and the pass to the outside is caught by Chris Durham for a gain of 5. And let's take a look at the Green Bay defense.
Ryan Pickett, Ohio State University.
B.J. Raji, BC.
Eric Walden, Middle Tennessee State.
Brad Jones, Colorado.
A.J. Hawk, The Ohio State University.
Desmond Moses, Tulane University.
Tremont Williams, Louisiana Tech.
Morgan Burnett, Georgia Tech.
MD Jennings, Arkansas State.
Devon House, New Mexico State.
Casey Hayward, Vanderbilt University.
Two big guys, of course, missing would be Matthews and Woodson. May have them back next week. On 2nd down and 6, here goes LaShore to the outside. And LaShore has a first down for the Lions at the 48-yard line, tackled by the safety, Morgan Burnett.
Well, here's one of the ways they're going to try and help this running game. Right here is Riley Reef, who's the extra tackle. They bring him into the formation as a tight end. They wanted to do that in the last game, but due to injuries, really just couldn't get that done. So they're trying to go big on big here early, and it's working.
At the 48-yard line. Opening drive of the game. Play number 6 to the ground again. Gain of 1. LaShore tearing his Achilles last year. Javid Best was supposed to be their number 1 back, and then he got hurt as well last year, and they had to go to Kevin Smith, who had been, in effect, retired. They lose Best again this year. Still hasn't recovered from the concussion syndrome. And LaShore is a guy who they know can play. Was suspended for the first couple of games this year and now takes over as their primary back. Comes into the game averaging 3.8 yards per carry. 2nd and 9. Pressure on. And a flag is thrown as the pass is caught by LaShore. And that will be close to a first down, but it looked like not only a hole, but a half Nelson thrown right here.
Yeah, but they had an offsides too, and what was interesting was I thought they...
Offside, defense number 54 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
And that's all they called.
That's all they called. That's exactly right. You'll see it coming right here, but then watch Backus trying to protect his quarterback, just make a grab here on the back end to make sure he doesn't, well, maybe not. He kind of ran by him and it looked like it was a hole, but I don't think it was on second glance.
Got his hand on his face mask and took it off. They don't call it. And it will be 2nd down and 4. With the ball now at the 46-yard line. Joik Bell is the running back, and they give it to him. Busted a 67-yarder last week against Indianapolis. Follows the pulling guard Peterman and picks up a first down. That's a gain of 11. So a very effective opening drive for the Lions.
Yeah, and they're doing it running the football, which is fantastic for them. This Joik Bell is a guy that won the Harlan Hill Trophy for basically the Division II Heisman Trophy. He's not a real flashy guy, not a real fast guy, but all the big plays they've had running the football this year have come from Joik Bell, so he's going to get a shot tonight.
Scott Linehan, head coach of the Rams a few years back, the offensive coordinator, 5 minutes into the game. Off the play fake, that buys a lot of time for Stafford, and then he wings one to Calvin Johnson. Flag is thrown, and Johnson is out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
There was a major collision that time involving Calvin Johnson. It looked like Johnson may have pushed off to get that open.
And Correntes crew will confer here. You got a flag down on the other side of the field at the 36.
Both teams that will offset. Offside, defense number 54 is in the neutral zone at the snap. Pass interference, offense number 81. By rule, these penalties will offset. Replay, 2nd down.
So Johnson, offensive interference, it'll be first down.
Yeah, and the Packers are one of the few teams that'll line up and play one-on-one against Calvin Johnson. And there you can see it was probably just a double move, and I don't know as much of a push it was. Williams was kind of in his way, but it gets called, but it's kind of refreshing almost to see a team with a cornerback like Tramon Williams where they're willing to take a shot one-on-one against Calvin Johnson.
Burnett comes up to show blitz. Now they're going to toss it back to Mike Thomas. And Thomas with room inside the 20 to the 13-yard line. And Matthew Stafford gets into the action there, throwing a block along the way. 22 yards.
This play goes nowhere, though, without the quarterback, number 9, Matthew Stafford making a block. He looked like a pulling guard coming around on this one. One guy, one-on-one. How about that one? That works. You don't test for that at the combine. Fantastic.
Takes care of Frank Zombo. That won't be fun to watch in the film room for the Packer defense this week.
Or for Zombo. It'll be great fun for the rest of the defense.
Right. First down to the 13-yard line. Inside give, LaShore takes it to the 8-yard line. 8:40 to go in the quarter, opening drive of the game. We've got 7 runs, 2 passes. Mike McCarthy, been the Green Bay head coach since 2006, watching his defense right now, having all kinds of trouble stopping Detroit's opening salvo. 12-1 against the Lions is McCarthy. The only game he lost was a game in which Rodgers sustained a concussion in Detroit a couple of years back, and the Lions won the game 7-3. Back to the backfield on 2nd and 5. Stafford to the outside, and that's caught by Stephon Logan, who doesn't play that much on offense. Runs back all of their punts and kickoffs, run out of bounds by A.J. Hawk right at that first down marker.
Well, they've gone through so many wide receivers this year that Stephon Logan, who was a wideout last year, got moved to running back this year. Now back to wideout to try and compensate for Ryan Broyles and Nate Burleson and Titus Young no longer being there. And that's the kind of play he can make, that little in and out cut. He's one of the quicker guys on the field.
Only his 3rd reception of the season. You saw Stafford screaming for the measurement, but Parenti looks over and says no. Now Schwartz is saying we'll reset the play clock. It's already ticking down. It's actually at the moment stopped at 19. He wants the full 25, and now they start it about 6 seconds in. So in effect, he got the full 25. 3rd and 1 from the 3. And it's Johnson who is in motion, and they give the ball to LaShore. Obviously going to be very, very close. So you either have 4th and inches or a 1st and goal on a drive that's not consumed half of the quarter.
I'll tell you, B.J. Raji made a play on that one. Rob Sims was trying to pull out and around. Right here, he's going to get penetration and keep this pull from happening. It basically just cuts off the running back. So the whole collision happens about a yard deep in the backfield.
And they will bring in the change.
Now you got a decision.
I go for it. What do you do?
Well, you're the Detroit Lions. You haven't won here in 2 decades. I think you take a shot right here. Although historically this has not been a great running football team. And now the Packers have all their big guys in.
On this drive, 8 rushes for 54 yards. 4th and inches. LaShore is the running back. And it's Stafford faking it to him and going in untouched. Touchdown Lions. Matthew Stafford, who had that phenomenal game here last year, the last game of the season. Jim Schwartz salutes him on the way to the bench. 80 yards, 12 plays to take the lead.
Well, here's why they didn't have enough defense to stop it. They've got 2 guys playing the kryptonite defense on Superman on the outside, so there's not that extra defensive safety in support, and Stafford walks in.
Jason Hanson in his 21st year in the league, all with Detroit. So he's never won a game in Wisconsin. Boots it through. The extra point is good. 7:16 to go in the opening quarter. Lions very impressive on the opening drive, up 7-7. Sunday Night Football from Green Bay, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You can find our Bears online only at southwest.com. By Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation that excites. By Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans, here we go. And by Windows 8. They're used to it. Party lot, Packer fans. They know how to dress for December. We don't, but they do.
Layers.
It's the key. Randall Cobb is back to receive. Hanson to kick off. Detroit had won the toss and elected to receive. And away they went. And this is a very short kick that's fielded up at the 21-yard line by D.J. Williams, one of the Packer tight ends. And he's out for about the 34. Here comes Rodgers in the Packer offense. Check it out, all the great enhancements and your enjoyment for watching the game. NBCSports.com SNF Extra. Every week a different social media analyst, and tonight it's Leroy Butler, the former Packers safety, the man who had the first ever Lambeau leap. And away they went.
Pretty good pass rusher, too. I remember him coming on a lot of blitzes.
Packers in the 33 after Detroit had kicked the ball away from Cobb on the kickoff. They want him running it back in these slippery conditions, and that's Alex Green. Actually, it's DeJuan Harris who takes the first carry of the game. Harris at 5'8", 203 out of Troy. So Green, the schedule starter, but they give it to Harris, and off he goes for a first down.
Well, DeJuan Harris, it's interesting. In the game last week, Mike McCarthy was saying I planned on fully getting him into the ball game, but it ended up being close. And as a coach, I just locked up. I decided not to do it. He said I might give him the first carry tonight just to get him involved. Pretty good idea.
And he did. And it's a gain of 10, and here is Randall Cobb on the outside, and Cobb will take it to the 49-yard line. He's tackled there by Levy. Aaron Rodgers, take a look at his career at Lambeau in December and January in regular season games. 9-1, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So a guy from Northern California has had no trouble playing in the elements through the years. From the 49 on 2nd and 5. And this is Alex Green for a short game. So Alex Green, who takes over as the #1 back right now. Cedric Benson is hurt, so he is gone. They lost James Starks last week. Might get him back in postseason. Green played at Hawaii, second-year back. You saw Harris, who played at Jacksonville last year, getting his first carry as a Packer earlier. And they brought back Ryan Grant, and now they have John Kuhn in the backfield flanking Rodgers on 3rd and 2. Four-man rush, pressure. Rodgers can run, as he effectively proves week after week, and slides to a spot at the 41-yard line for a Green Bay first down.
One of the things the Lions talk to us about is they can't let Aaron Rodgers escape in here. When the defensive ends rush too far up the field like Kyle Vanden Bosch did that time, it creates that opening. And Aaron Rodgers at the end of that one did not like that little blow to the head.
Go without a huddle, hurry it up at the 42-yard line. And this is Green putting his head down and getting 8 yards. Alex Green to the 34-yard line.
You know, Alex Green, pretty good story. Had the knee injury a year ago, and a lot of times it takes a while to bounce back, but he has to be the guy now. I mean, there really is no one left. James Starks ended up getting injured, and so the pressure really now falls on him to get this running game going.
2nd and 2, Packers go no huddle. Play action. Pressure on Rodgers, but he slips away to his left, throws, finds the open man, and that's Randall Cobb for another Green Bay first down.
Well, against Aaron Rodgers, you keep allowing him to step up because of this wide pass rush, he's just going to beat you. I mean, that's what he does best, and he doesn't look to run, he looks to throw. And the guy that he's been looking to throw to a lot this year has been Randall Cobb. I think he's one of the true breakout players this season and has picked up a heavy part of the load with Greg Jennings' injury.
21 yards there. McCarthy saying you can't get the ball in Cobb's hands enough from the 13. Rodgers buying time and then incomplete. Ball slipping out of his hands, intended for Jermichael Finley. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, one of the real tests tonight for the Packers is going to be at right tackle. Don Barclay comes in there. He's filling in for Brian Balaga. TJ Lang was there for a while. He ended up hurting his ankle. So Barclay, who came in and I thought played pretty well last week, maybe a little bit better as a run blocker than he is a pass blocker, but held his own. And if he can hold up tonight, Packers have a great shot.
So Lang, who is active on the sideline, second down and 10 from the 13. Rodgers slipping away and then doesn't see, coming from behind is Lawrence Jackson, creating the fumble, and the Detroit Lions stymie this drive as Jackson sneaks up from behind on Rodgers. The sack, fumble, and Detroit with a turnover in 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, leading 7-0. The Lions with the ball. Tomorrow, a simple game of gift giving and gift taking. Howie Mandel brings you a 6-night holiday event. It's called Take It All, premiering tomorrow after The Voice right here on NBC. So there is Jackson, and the Lions, when you think about that line, you think of the key guys up front, including Averill and Sue, and Vanden Bosch and Fairley, but Lawrence Jackson sees a lot of action as well. They rotate the guys in and out, and he creates the fumble. The turnover gives Detroit the ball on first down. This is Joique Bell. It was Tulloch who recovered it, and we go back to the sack.
Lawrence Jackson is going to loop all the way around, but it's going to be Ndamukong Suh this way that kicks off Marshall Newhouse from Jackson. As he goes by Rodgers, he's going to clip the legs of Newhouse, and then Jackson's going to end up getting the strip fumble, and Rodgers obviously never saw him.
Tulloch able to crawl over for the recovery. A second down and 8. And Stafford to the outside. He goes, and that'll be caught by Scheffler for a first down.
You know, Tony Scheffler really has stepped up and filled a huge void on this football team with all the wide receivers being down. He's essentially become their slot receiver, about a 4'6", 40 kind of guy and a big body. And really now that they've added Chris Durham into the mix as the other starting wide receiver, all these receivers stand at 6'5" or better on the field.
Detroit's would-be second, third, and fourth receivers are injured. Of course, you've got Johnson, number 1. Here is Joique Bell. And you've got Durham, who caught a ball on the first series, who played with Stafford at Georgia. Matthew Stafford, the number 1 overall pick, and guy he's very happy to see in civvies tonight, right there. Clay Matthews nursing that hamstring, 3 straight Pro Bowl selections, but missing another game tonight, and hopes to be able to play next week when they go to Chicago.
Charles Woodson may be back for that one as well.
Second and 7. Again, the pistol formation as they hand the ball off to Bell. Bell slips a tackle and picks up a first down before he's ridden out of bounds by A.J. Hawk.
I'll tell you what, this Joique Bell looks pretty good to me. You know, it's not all about 40-yard dash time when you're talking about a running back. Can you make people miss in small areas? And he has proven that he can consistently do that. I mean, that is a defensive back that he is making look bad there, trying to make the tackle. Devon House came up and really barely got a finger on him. So Joique Bell is making an impression early on here.
Played his college football right there in Detroit at Wayne State. Flag is down, and the pass intended for Johnson. So it looks like Green Bay may have jumped. Get the call from Tony Correnti in a second.
Offside, defense number 90 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
B.J. Raji.
Well, I tell you, the matchup is getting set on the outside. This is going to be fun to watch tonight. Tramon Williams is playing one-on-one coverage a lot against Calvin Johnson. And you know Matthew Stafford is not going to settle for that long. They took a shot there, but give Williams some credit. He's been holding up.
First and 5 now. From the 44. Play action. Pressure on the blitz. And then Johnson's along the sideline. The pass would have been caught out of bounds anyway. Williams is right there. It'll be second down and 5. You had a corner blitz that time from the rookie Casey Hayward.
Yeah, they're willing to bring the safety down in the middle of the field, and then it's just one-on-one out here. And Tramon Williams, watch him just press Calvin Johnson into the boundary. Even if he caught the ball, obviously nothing there. As a receiver, you need to try and leave 4 or 5 yards on the field. And Tramon Williams telling us the other night, he goes, hey, you won't see me bumping and running him. This guy throws people around, but I can run with him and make plays.
2nd and 5. And now here is Logan. Stephon Logan, the run-back specialist, who caught a pass earlier, only 3 receptions on the season. Carries the ball sparingly, takes this one to the 41. It'll be 3rd down and 2 as we go into the final minute of the quarter.
And the one thing you don't expect Stephon Logan to do is to run it between the tackles. You know, you think he's going to be involved in some kind of gadget play.
Only Logan's 2nd carry of the season. So Linehan not only calling plays that are very effective, moving guys in and out. Now he puts Kevin Smith into the game in the backfield on 3rd down and 2. And Stafford slings it to the outside, and that'll be caught for a 1st down by the tight end, Tony Scheffler.
They've been doing a lot of stuff with Calvin Johnson, moving him in motion and doing some different things. And as he goes in motion, it changes the defense and oftentimes forces guys to back up because they don't want to have that sort of running start against Calvin Johnson. So that time as the defensive back backed up, allowed Scheffler to get open underneath.
Lions owned the 1st quarter, had the ball for almost 11 and a half minutes. End of 1. 7-0 Detroit. Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Tonight's cable cam coverage being brought to you by Geico. Yeah, no aerial coverage tonight, thank you very much. Lambeau Field, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Detroit on top, 7-0, and they start from the 37 of Green Bay, 1st and 10. And the ball handed off to Joyke Bell. And Bell gets tackled after he crosses the 35-yard line.
I'll tell you, we were seeing the Lions run the football a little bit like Adrian Peterson and the Vikings did a week ago when Peterson had 210 yards in that game. Here comes Matthew Stafford, the quarterbacks, get his 2nd knockdown of the night. Blocking on the backside, so Stafford's out there just playing a little ball in the snow at Lambeau.
Lions have already run 20 plays, and they've rushed for 82 yards. Stafford protected well, throwing, and a great one-handed catch is made at the 6-yard line by Durham, the 6'6", 2nd-year guy out of Georgia, college roommate of Matthew Stafford in Athens.
And they were driving down the road the other day and saying, can you imagine you and I are going to be at Lambeau Field playing in the snow, and you know Matthew Stafford would like nothing more than to get his college roommate going, and he's not going to feel even a little bit guilty throwing it to that big guy. 6'6", he makes plays like that.
And there's Johnson on the other side. Jim Schwartz is right. He said he's like Collinsworth.
Except he catches it.
When you look right. On 1st down and goal now, this is Joyke Bell taking it to the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal.
I don't think Mike McCarthy can believe what's happening to him here. And this is the 2nd straight week. You know, I mean, it was 240 yards rushing. And because the Lions are able to get that running game going now, they're seeing these big receivers in just one-on-one situations. This is the kind of balance the Detroit Lions have dreamt about for a long time.
2nd and goal from the 3. And that's caught for a touchdown on a slant by Tony Scheffler. And the Detroit Lions taking advantage of no Matthews, no Woodson, and shredding this defense in the early stages tonight.
Will Heller's just going to do a little rub route. Some people call it a pick, but you don't even say that on the football field because they throw flags when you mention that word. And Tony Scheffler just took advantage.
flag comes down.
At the conclusion of all the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, excessive demonstration by two players on Detroit. This 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
In the meantime, as you take a look at this Lions offense tonight, brilliant to this point anyway. As Jason Hanson gets set to kick the extra point, they take advantage of the turnover created by the sack fumble. And the Lions trying to win in Wisconsin for the first time in 2 decades. Lead Green Bay 14-0 on Sunday Night Football. You're invited to join the NFL. Again, Ohio celebrates 50 years of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This is Pro Football, HOF.com. Willie Davis, inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1981. Actually started his career with the Cleveland Browns, then came here. And of course was here in the 60s when the Packers won Super Bowls 1 and 2 under Vince Lombardi. Randall Cobb from the 9-yard line to run this one back and hurdles his way forward to give them good field position out near the 40-yard line. So Rodgers battling uphill now as Detroit leads by 2 touchdowns in Lambeau. And the wind picking up at Lambeau Field on this Sunday night, the 9th of December. The Packers down 14-0 through the Detroit Lions, and they begin this drive from the 38-yard line. Largest lead in Wisconsin since 1988. We say Wisconsin because the Packers used to play some games, including those against the Lions in Milwaukee years back. As Rodgers throws, and then is caught by Greg Jennings, who missed several weeks with an abdominal injury that required surgery. Came back last week, and Greg Jennings with a reception here in the first down.
For Chris Houston, he tried to jump the underneath part of this. There was just confusion in the secondary, 2 vertical routes. But for Greg Jennings to get back involved, Aaron Rodgers said, I have to throw him at least 10 in this game. That's how valuable he is to us.
27 yards. They go no huddle. Alex Green has room to the outside. Some tough running, but a flag comes in. From the moment, a gain of 9. Marker down to the 33. Tony, this way.
Holding offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Right guard Josh Sitton.
I've never seen a referee go, whoa. That's pretty good.
The Tony's mic's been open a couple of times this year.
Let's see if we can see it. Oh, they thought that he hooked his foot, but I don't think that he did. Nope. He got his arm out there. Josh Sitton's the guy pulling out and around this block right here, and it looked like he grabbed the foot, but I think if you saw another angle of that, it just sort of popped out and he fell down.
You heard the crowd reaction as they saw it on the board. 1st and 18, and that's dropped. That's James Jones, 2nd down. Let's take a look at the Green Bay offense.
Aaron Rodgers, California.
Alex Green, Hawaii. Greg Jennings, Western Michigan University.
James Jones, San Jose State.
Randall Cobb, Kentucky.
Jermichael Finley, the University of Texas.
Marshall Newhouse, TCU.
Evan Dietrich Smith, Salinas High.
Jeff Saturday, the University of North Carolina.
Josh Sitton, Central Florida.
Don Barclay, West Virginia Mountaineers.
And Chris talking about Barclay taking over, the undrafted free agent. Meanwhile, Jones just dropped his first pass of the season after he caught 44 on 2nd and 18. They run Green on a draw, and Green to the 31-yard line. Alex Green tackled by the safety Don Carey. That's a gain of 12, making it 3rd down and 6.
And we talked about the Packers playing nickel. Look at this. Very few guys in here. Of course, it was long yardage situation, but the Packers are going to have to be willing to try and run the Lions out of that look a little bit as well. And so far they are. Both these teams, essentially, you see the 2 deep safeties in the middle of the field playing very cautiously on the back end, almost daring the other team to run the ball, and so far they are.
So Rodgers, Tulloch in the split screen, 3rd down and 6. Run a stunt up front, and Rodgers gets away for the moment, and the pass is incomplete. Leading John Kuhn coming out of the backfield. It'll be 4th down. And now you got a kicker in a slump in the snow, so do you bring him in and attempt about a 40, 8-yard field goal.
Dominican Sue that time getting some pressure. Josh Sitton got picked off. Looked like Rogers had a chance to run for that first down. Opted instead to sling it to the outside.
Mason Crosby, and everything's been an adventure lately, including those he's made. He made a 30-yarder that hit an upright last week from 49 in the wind and in the snow, and Crosby's kick is good. The crowd praying right along with him. You can hear that crescendo build along the way. Packers get on the board. It's 14-3 in Green Bay. Dan Patrick tomorrow on the NBC Sports Network at 9 a.m. Eastern. He's got the Heisman Trophy winner, Johnny Manziel, Tony Dungy, Charles Barkley, and Joe Montana all guesting tomorrow. Pretty good lineup. The 7-yard line, Stefan Logan. And Logan going all the way across the field before he is wrestled down by Sam Shields. 10:43 left in the half. Green Bay, where Detroit leads by 11. Megatron, Calvin Johnson on a pace to set an NFL record for receiving yards in a season. 1848, you go back to 1995 when Jerry Rice did it in San Francisco. And as you take a look at quarter by quarter for the season, how these guys have done, 661 in games 9 through 12. He needs 421 or 105 per game to break the record. But tonight, Johnson has been held to one catch for 9 yards. And this time over the middle, Will Heller, the tight end, to the 32-yard line. So what are they doing with Megatron tonight? Take a look.
Well, they're actually a little double coverage to start the game, but for the most part tonight, for me, the story has been that they've taken a shot with Tramon Williams in one-on-one coverage, and he has not been burned. And you would think that would mean much better run defense, but that's the other story of this game, the way the Detroit Lions have run it so far. 15 rushes, just 9 passes, and that is not very Lion-like.
Here's LaShore, and he will set up a 3rd and 1 from the 36-yard line.
Well, it's so interesting to watch the Detroit Lions. What have they run it? Run the ball like 9 times, something like that, all year on 3rd down. This is a team that, on pace, you talked about it, record number of pass attempts this season. Just 7% runs on any kind of 3rd down.
Well, let's see what they do here. They come up in the gun. You've got Kevin Smith flanking Stafford in the backfield on 3rd and 1. And they stay true to form with a pass, and a sidearm pass is caught by Heller. And of course, everybody likes to break down Stafford and what he does and the different angles he throws it at. And sometimes you just need to go back to Don Drysdale and throw one sidearm.
That's exactly what he did there. He said, you know, hey, I got a lot of bad guys coming after me. I can't always throw it with perfect form. That time it sort of whipped a little Kent Tekulve around the edge and got the 1st down.
Underhanded. Less than 9 to go in the half. That snow picking up, the wind picking up as well at Lambeau. From the 39, out of the pistol. And Stafford breaks away, packs it in, and the ball comes out after he gets hit by Eric Walden. Was he down or not? There was no whistle. Who has it is the question, and was he down will be the next question.
Yeah, but when he starts to slide is when the play is supposed to be over.
2nd down.
They're going to say he's down by contact, so there's no fumble. Starts to slide, the play is over.
Right there. That play is down. That's a good call by the officials. That's what they do to protect these quarterbacks, because otherwise he could slide for an additional 4 or 5 yards on a night like this. So where he starts to slide, he declares himself down. The officials got it right. Big break for the Lions.
Yep. 2nd down and 4 with the ball at the 45-yard line.
Hey, those visors need some windshield wipers out there tonight. It's kind of fun to watch a defensive lineman, but for some of the receivers, like a Calvin Johnson who wears that visor, it can be an issue.
Well, the play clock ran out, and Schwartz says to the officiating crew, wait a second, restart the play clock, so a timeout is taken. Drove by Jerry Stadium in Dallas, get on the plane to come to Lambeau Field. All right. And welcome. This is the frozen tundra tonight. Second down and 4 after the Lions had to take a timeout. Play clock was winding down, and the handoff here goes to LeSure, and LeSure trying to stay on his feet, and he's stopped just short of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
You know, it's such an interesting game. These two teams got together at the end of the year last year. Of course, Aaron Rodgers didn't play in that game, but it was one of those shootouts, you know, back and forth, and Matthew Stafford saying you couldn't even drink a full glass of Gatorade because you had to go back out on the field. And yet in this game, it's been the patience of the Lions so far, and Scott Linehan that's keeping Aaron Rodgers over there on the sideline. They've been sticking with this running game.
They've had the ball 16 minutes and 40 seconds to 5.5 minutes for Green Bay. 3rd and 1. Good protection. Pass is intended for Durham, and that's a first down. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Al, you called this field a frozen tundra, but not so much. I mean, part of the reason the snow isn't accumulating on the field is because there's a network of pipes. Here's the control room that controls the liquid under those pipes or inside those pipes. That liquid includes antifreeze. And before the game as well, up until about 2 hours before kickoff, they had this dome. This tarp turns into a dome, so much heat being pumped in. It was 60 degrees inside that dome, Al.
Michelle, take a look at that field, too, how green it is in December. And how it used to be when you think about it. And the ball slips out of Stafford's hands, and the ball is loose, and it's picked up by the Packers by Mike Daniels, and that is the all-time Christmas gift touchdown.
You can't get up there. Go figure. Everything in the world's going right, and now you can't hold on to the football trying to throw a pass.
And then a defensive lineman, a reserve, the guy a backup, comes in and goes 43 yards with it.
Stafford, a guy who's used to handling the ball, mishandles it twice. And a defensive lineman who never handles the ball picks it up cleanly and scores.
4th round draft choice out of Iowa.
Come on, baby. Come on with it.
I'm going to suggest that's going to be his career highlight, even if he's in the league for 15 years.
He's going to claim a 40-inch vertical, I know.
Mason Crosby for the point after. What a turn of events. 6:15 to the half. 14-10 Detroit.
Been a problem all season long for the Detroit Lions, allowing those return touchdowns, and here's why it happened. Matthew Stafford tried to get off the quick screen throw, but you can see his hands weren't even on the laces, and so the slippery football got away from him. On those quick throws, you just want to grab it wherever you can, get it out of there as fast as you can, and it cost him a touchdown.
And Logan lets that one go into the end zone. So the Lions have allowed 8 return touchdowns and have none themselves. Meanwhile, consecutive home wins against one opponent. Home wins, regular season. Talked about the 20 straight the Packers have won in Wisconsin against the Lions. Look at the 4 sports. The Flyers won 23 straight against the Penguins in Philly. In baseball, the Indians against the St. Louis Browns, who then became the Orioles, 27 straight. The Lakers beat the Kings 43 consecutive times at the Fabulous Forum is the NBA record. And here are the Lions trying to get off that schneid.
I feel like the Lions have had the ball the entire game.
Well, they have. 18 minutes to 5. And this is a pass caught by Johnson up at the 34-yard line. So Johnson, who caught a pass on the game's first series, pulls in his second of the night right here.
You're going to end up with a flat route and an in route, which means that you're going to have this open space. And it's really what you have to do. If you have a cornerback who's making it tough on you to get an outside release, you have to hit a few of these to set him up for the opportunity to get one down the field.
The Lions have had 31 plays tonight. Green Bay 13. And they give it to LeSure. Cuts it back upfield, takes the ball to the 38-yard line.
Well, what you're seeing the Packers doing now is sort of looking like they're in a very soft look and then sort of running the safety down to try and help against the run, which is almost unbelievable. Start coming down here late, because they're struggling to try and stop this running game, which I can't imagine Dom Capers would have ever thought that would have been an issue here.
2nd and 6. Lions have now rushed for 102 yards tonight. Stafford backing up and throws off his back foot, jump ball, and incomplete. Williams and Johnson right there again. Tramon Williams at 5'11", and Johnson at 6'5", and Williams gives away about 45 pounds as well.
Well, you don't have to see the safety come down again, which means now one-on-one, and you don't have to watch much Lions tape at all to understand the minute Matthew Stafford sees one-on-one coverage on the outside with Calvin Johnson, no matter who's covering him, he's throwing it. But so far, the MVP of this game for the Packers has been that guy right there, Tramon Williams. He has handled Calvin Johnson down the field.
3rd and 6. Blitz coming, and over the middle and wide open is Joique Bell. So they convert on 3rd down. The ball is at the 48-yard line. Morgan Burnett makes the tackle. 1st down Lions.
Just confusion that time in the secondary. I'm not sure if that was Jerron McMillan or not, but just got shuffled out of the backfield and left the back alone. So despite the fact they're having issues with their primary threat down the field, Calvin Johnson, they continue to convert on 3rd down.
From the 48, Stafford 12 of 14 for 106. And he hands the ball off to LaShore. Stafford, the overall #1 pick in 09, beat out Dante Culpepper for the starting job as a rookie, then got hurt his 2nd year, had shoulder surgery, came back, played brilliantly last year. He's a Texan, went to school in Athens, Georgia, one of 4 quarterbacks with 5,000 yards in the season. And on his way, as we mentioned earlier, to setting an NFL record for most passes in a season, over 700, on that pace right now.
Well, on pace for just under 5,000 yards again this season, too. Well, this time, Stafford caught that safety coming up. Probably another shot, no?
2nd and 7, keep it on the ground. Some room to roam for LaShore. And that'll be a 1st down. LaShore has carried 11 times for 43 yards tonight.
Yeah, and I think these running backs understand now full well there's sort of an open competition. Joique Bell came out in the 1st quarter, made a couple of nice runs. And really, Jim Schwartz and Scott Linehan, they said it's, whoever gets the hot hand out here, that we're going to just let them play. And so far, both backs have done well.
Under 3 minutes in the half. Good protection. Slings it deep over the middle. Intercepted by Sam Shields. Out past the 30. And Shields takes it to the 44-yard line. Another Detroit turnover.
Well, that time his buddy got him. I think this is Chris Durham. Out here's where it's going to happen. But Chris Durham, I think that Stafford thought his guy, his former roommate, was going to go underneath, and he bounced out on top that time of Sam Shields, and it made for an easy interception. As a receiver, when you're on that skinny post, you've got to get to the inside right there. No matter what the defensive back does, you cannot go around the outside of him. When he did, cost him a pick. Yeah, Matthew Stafford said, come on, man. You know how to do that. We did that back at Georgia.
Shields has missed several weeks. Ankle injury. Haven't seen him since a Sunday night game in mid-October in Houston. And stopped is Harris by Nick Fairley. Harris, who had the game's 1st carry. First-year guy out of Troy, played with Jacksonville last year. 2nd down.
I'll tell you, this guy right here, Nick Fairley, has really been coming on lately. A lot of sacks, but just making plays in here. And right now, it's hard to imagine a much better pair of defensive tackles on a team than Nick Fairley and Ndamukong Suh. They can simply stop just about anything you want to throw at them between the tackles, and that sets up some pass rushers on the outside.
And Rodgers will let it go down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the half. Detroit on top 14-10 at Lambeau Field. At a halftime show, an emotional win for the Cowboys in Cincinnati today. Latest update on RG3. as Washington beat Baltimore. The Giants beat the Saints coming up to the halftime show with Bob Costas and the gang. Randall Cobb has nowhere to go on a 2nd and long. Stopped there by Tulloch, and it will be 3rd and long before Green Bay.
You know, all they try to do with Randall Cobb is just get him in sort of punt return kind of situations. They had 3 wide receivers to that side, motioned Cobb out there, and just had a wall formed in front of him. But it was well played by Tulloch.
Ooh, the wind picking up again. The snow coming down.
I've been in this booth before when it starts blowing in this way. You start hoping for a swirl the other way.
3rd and 10 from the 44.
That's going to be close. One of the Lions defenders moved. Did he get into the neutral zone before the reaction?
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Call it on Sitton.
Going to see the movement right here, and then Sitton's going to react to it and claim that drew him off. The officials weren't buying it. I tell you, Aaron Rodgers with his snap count almost won the game by himself last week. Got Minnesota to jump offside so much, but the Lions have been working on it all week long, and they've been one of the big culprits in that penalty all season.
3rd and 15. Rodgers, quick flip. It's Randall Cobb. And Cobb gets taken down inbounds at the 47-yard line, so the Lions should take a timeout, and they do before what will be the first punt of the game when we come back. Tim Mastay having a very good year. This is the first punt for either team tonight. Logan is back at his own 10-yard line. Detroit gets the ball. They have 1 timeout. And Logan's going to let it go and goes into the end zone. So Stafford will take over at the 20-yard line with less than a minute. And the flag is down on the play. Has nothing to do with the line of scrimmage, where it was 4th and 8. And Tony Correnti will tell us.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 27. This penalty will be enforced after the touchback. 10 yards, 1st down.
We start from the 10, and we can tell you Sunday Night Football brought to you by Subway Restaurants. Our deliciously melty, fresh toasted steak melts are here by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. By Judd Apatow, this is 40. And by Priority Mail, flat rate shipping only from the Postal Service.
I'll tell you how that penalty may end up proving to be big. The Packers have all 3 timeouts, so it'll be interesting to see if they try and play this to force a punt and get the field position back.
And Detroit has just 1. And on the ground, this is Bell. So let's see, do the Packers want to take it right here?
I think they are.
And they do. They're exactly right. Timeout, Green Bay. Lions are 72 points in the last 2 minutes of either half. Of all teams tied with the Raiders for most points in the NFL this year. 2nd down and 7 now. At the 13-yard line.
They just raise up and throw one quickly to the outside here.
Instead they keep it on the ground. And that's going to let Green Bay call another timeout as Joyke Bell gets taken down. And it's 3rd down and 5 when we come back. Twice as much yardage and about 3 times as much possession time for Detroit. But right now they need a 1st down or Green Bay is going to get the ball back after taking another timeout.
And if you throw an incomplete pass here, you leave Aaron Rodgers with the football and the timeout.
From the 15.
Out of the 1st half. It's a 30-second timeout.
And Detroit's going to take a timeout. Meanwhile, back to Stafford and the Detroit turnovers.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes here. That one because he didn't grab the laces. And the other one because his old Georgia roommate didn't quite run on the post. Went behind Sam Shields, and welcome back Sam Shields, who missed a lot of time. But I tell you, you have to be impressed so far with what the Detroit Lions have been able to do, and I think probably especially defensively. You take away the defensive touchdown that the Packers have, and they've held this tremendous Packer offense to just 3 points.
47 seconds. Detroit just took its last timeout. Green Bay still with one, and they can use it if they stop them here and get the ball back. 3rd and 5. And Stafford throws, and they are able to convert to Calvin Johnson. So a first down. And now do they want to hurry it up or just take that 4-point lead into the locker room, and the way they're huddling up, that's what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah, that was a big first down, and here's the battle we've been watching all night long, and finally Calvin Johnson going to get the better of it. See how well he comes back to the football, really drives back. Otherwise, Williams would have had a chance to knock that one out. There's a lot of the little things. Over his last 16 games, over 2,000 yards receiving, which is unheard of.
And this is the way the half will end, with Detroit really dominating, having the ball more than 22 minutes, leading by a mile in yardage. Those 2 turnovers have made it close. Packers get the second half kickoff. 14-10 Detroit at the break, with the Toyota halftime show coming up after these words from the NBC stations. And it's Stafford faking it to him and going in untouched. Touchdown Lions. And that's caught for a touchdown on a slant by Tony Scheffler. And the Detroit Lions shredding this defense. Slipping away, and then doesn't see coming from behind is Lawrence Jackson. And the ball slips out of Stafford's hands, and it's picked up by the Packers, and that is the all-time Christmas gift touchdown. NFL rocks on NBC. Second half, Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Temperature 33, just above freezing. Been snowing since about 9:30 this morning here in Green Bay. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football, Week 14. Green Bay will get the ball to start the second half, down by 4. Jason Hansen sends it down to Cobb, who collects it at the 1-yard line and then fakes the handoff and takes it out to the 26-yard line, and we check in with Michelle.
Al, I just spoke with Mike McCarthy about the fact that the Packers have only run 16 offensive plays, and he told me that he said to his team, look, throw the stats out the window. We only trail by 4. We are 30 minutes away from 9 wins. On the flip side, the Lions dominated the time of possession, but Jim Schwartz was emphatic that they have to take care of the football and take advantage of the opportunities when they have them, Al.
Thank you, Michelle, who's originally from Southern California but lives in Minnesota, so doing combat duty tonight as we sit up here in our heated booth. In a minute, speaking. From the 26-yard line, first down. And Rodgers throws, and that's caught on the outside by Jones for a first down. And the stats that McCarthy wanted to throw away: rushing yards, all Detroit. Twice as many passing yards. Time of possession about 3-1. Detroit turning the ball over twice, both big. Green Bay turning it over once, and that was big in the red zone. A little shovel pass, and the ball is loose after Green comes up with it, and then falling on it is Don Barkley, the rookie tackle.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting play, because ordinarily you say if you drop a shovel pass, it's just incomplete. But I think he catches this, goes down, nobody touches him, but then he probably would have been touched down at that point, even if they had to go back and review it.
Sue is the man on top of him. Ball back at the 33, second and 14. And that pass is caught by Jermichael Finley, tackled by Justin Durant. up and down season for Jermichael Finley, but of late he's back in the good graces of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, there were a few comments said, but he had a bit of a shoulder injury and sort of fell off. 6 catches in the game last week, and he has really slowly played himself back into a major role with this offense after being hurt for a while.
3rd and 6, there's a flag. And Rodgers going deep downfield and adjusting, but then dropping it is Cobb.
Well, we've got flags everywhere, but you can just bet whenever Aaron Rodgers gets a guy to jump off sides, he's throwing it deep because he gets a free play. And Cobb just flat out dropped that one.
3 flags.
There are 2 fouls, both against the defense. Offside, defense number 98. This penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense took 2 steps and intentionally shoved the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First foul was on Fairley. He didn't announce that the second one was on. We can figure it out here in a second. And it's Sue.
Well, they'll take 1-2, and Ndamukong Suh wasn't even thinking about it, but he got pointed out. I think that's Mike McCarthy there. He's going to say, thank you for the 15 yards. And Ndamukong Suh admittedly told us last night, he said, hey, I go on the field, I don't care if you're my best friend, I flipped the switch, we're playing. Cost him 15 there, though.
From the 44. And this is Finley. And with Sue, he gets involved in so many situations, especially on Thanksgiving Day the last 2 years, and gets fined and all that, but he just had 1 encroachment penalty this season, period. That's his first personal foul and only 2nd penalty of the year.
But people remember him stomping on Evan Dietrich Smith on that Thanksgiving Day game, and really there are a lot of offensive players who think he crosses the line.
And the kick to the groin of Matt Schaub on Thanksgiving this year. Here's Alex Green to the 33-yard line.
Of course, Ndamukong Suh said that one was not on purpose, and hard to say what intent is on plays like that. I don't know, is he Bruce Lee? Is he able to sling away from the guy and blindly kick the quarterback in the groin? I don't know. Maybe so.
No penalty but a fine on that play. First down at the 33-yard line. And this is Cobb. The block, and Cobb is taken out of bounds. Randall Cobb broke in with a bang last year in the first game of the season against the Saints with a long return for a touchdown on a kickoff, 108 yards, number 2 draft choice out of Kentucky in 2011. And the guy who was, we said every time we've had this team, Mike McCarthy says, I can't get the ball moving enough. 2nd and 4. And Rodgers, after pump faking, throwing that one away. James Jones, the intended receiver. Jonte Green covering on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4.
We talked about the pass rush of the Lions coming into this game, but the pace that Aaron Rodgers has kept in this football game sort of wears down this defensive line. It doesn't give Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley and some of those guys a chance to catch their breath. So the pass rush and the field conditions slowing them down a bit.
3rd and 4. And Rodgers escapes, gets out of trouble, runs for a first down and a whole lot more. In fact, runs for a touchdown. Turns a near sack into a 27-yard run for a touchdown. And for the first time tonight, the Packers have the lead.
Well, that's why you're the MVP of the league. It looked like he's going down. Pump fakes it, in big trouble, trips over his own lineman, gets out, and there's man coverage. A nice job by Jermichael Finley, just backing up, seeing the defender staring at him, and yeah, the championship belt, there you go. Whereas Detroit seemed to dominate the entire first half, they get possession in the second half, and Green Bay takes the lead.
Second longest run of Aaron Rodgers' career. Crosby for the point after. Green Bay with 17 unanswered points. Early 3rd. Packed by 3 at Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre in the 2008 season. Look at him rushing among the quarterbacks, second in yards, second in rushing touchdowns, and over 100 first downs with his legs. And here he goes here from a near sack to a touchdown, and Green Bay leads for the first time in the game.
You know, but maybe this year, more importantly, has been his escapability and keeping plays alive. We talk about it with Roethlisberger all the time, but with all the change in their offensive line, that has been a major factor for the Packers.
This is Logan from the goal line. And slips down at the 28-yard line.
Well, Tramon Williams in the first half, he didn't shut out Calvin Johnson by any means, but he took away the big play, and he just kept battling. Didn't try to take him on at the line of scrimmage, willing to back off. But when the ball was in the air, more often than not, it was Tramon Williams in the right spot. A couple of underneath balls. Calvin Johnson, 3 catches for 31 yards. But if you're the Packers and Dom Capers, you're thrilled with those numbers. See if he can keep it going here in the second half.
Beautiful numbers right there if you're a defensive back going against maybe the best receiver in the league. And this is Mike Thomas taking the handoff. And it's a short gain. Gain of a couple out to the 30-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7.
You know, it's always so interesting for me to watch the Detroit Lions, and I think a little bit about Titus Young, who should be playing wide receiver for this football team now, but just for whatever reason couldn't keep himself together and did some crazy things. Apparently lined up intentionally in the wrong spot, trying to get passes thrown to him. Basically, I don't know, sent home for a while to think about it, but what a great situation this is, playing opposite of Calvin Johnson and playing with Matthew Stafford.
You're right. You wonder, what is it? Immaturity, jealousy? Pass to the outside is incomplete. Intended for Tony Scheffler, and it will be third down and 7. And you're right. I mean, you think about Johnson going after Rice's record. Jerry, of course, had a lot of complimentary receivers in his years, mainly John Taylor, and then after that he had Terrell Owens, even though Taylor was ending his career the year that Rice set that record. But he always had other guys who caught the ball. Meanwhile, for Johnson, I mean, he's a man alone, basically.
Yeah, they try to use these tight ends, although I've got to say Brandon Pettigrew's been pretty quiet here so far in this one, too.
Third and 7. And the pass, and that is Johnson. He pays the price, but he signals a first down. He also will flag at the 50-yard line. And here's Correnti again. Looks like he picked up another one as well.
You know, it's interesting. Morgan Burnett looked like he was going to go for the interception, and by going for the interception, his helmet may have come in contact, but I don't think in any way there was any intent. Not that that matters in the game anymore, but pretty tough on these DBs anymore.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, contact to the head of the receiver. Number 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Burnett there, he's going to come up. Johnson with the in cut. And you're going to see for Burnett, it looked like the ball is coming right to him. He's breaking up to try and get it. And Stafford with one of those little sidearm slings in there. It's tough. Tough playing defense anymore. I'll say that for him.
Johnson's ducking his head down. Crowd, of course, they love it after watching that replay. He said sarcastically, the ball to 36.
Stafford catches them. They're one-on-one again. And they run it.
And this is LaShore for a gain of 2, second and 8. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, you just mentioned that Brandon Pettigrew has not been that active tonight, Chris. He is questionable now with a left ankle injury. Actually, they didn't confirm it was his left, but we saw that left ankle get taped up during the first half. So out of the halftime, he is now questionable.
Michelle doesn't miss anything.
Maybe that's why he hasn't been so active here. Just
probably.
Yeah.
Second down and 8. From the 34-yard line. Play clock all the way down. And a low throw, and Johnson goes down to get it at the 28-yard line. That's going to make it 3rd down and about 2.
You know, this is what's different for Calvin Johnson, and the reason he has a chance to break the single-season record for this football team. There's Charles Woodson, who would be out there trying to defend him. But Scott Linehan came up with a plan this year. He said, I can't just leave Calvin Johnson sitting on the outside and let them double team him. So a lot more this season. Motion, comes in, play the middle of the field, and his production has really picked up.
Five catches, 56 yards for Johnson. And that pass is thrown behind Johnson, who starts to slip down. Incomplete. It'll be 4th and 2.
I don't know if the footing's starting to become a little bit of a problem or not. They get the in cut this time going. And Calvin just sort of slipped down just before the ball, maybe thrown your right, just a little bit behind him, unable to reach back. Jason Hansen, who's never won in Wisconsin, and he's 42 years old.
42 years old. He spent his entire career with Detroit. 46-yard attempt to tie the game. And it is good. Hansen, as well as ever, kicking as well as ever at 42. Not at 17. 42-year-old Hansen kicking off to Randall Cobb in his 2nd season. Back in 92 when Hansen was a rookie. Cobb was 2.
It's amazing, isn't it?
The juxtaposition in the National Football League. At the 2-yard line, here's Cobb. Sounds like something Cosell would say. The juxtaposition in the National Football League.
There you go. Now we're getting loose.
Yep, 8:51 left in the 3rd. 17-all in Green Bay. Live look outside Lambeau Field right now, looking down Lombardi Avenue. And let's go to Michelle.
Well, Al, there are tributes to Vince Lombardi scattered all over Green Bay, Wisconsin, and one was recently added just over the summer when renovations were made to this stadium. Now, if you look at the graphic below me, you can see that it's about 9:20 local time. But now look at this live shot of the new clock tower just outside, and it faces Lambeau Avenue. It's 9:35 because it's set to Lombardi time. Lombardi, known for demanding his players arrive 15 minutes early to everything. So team president Mark Murphy decided the new clock should be set to Lombardi time. And Murphy told me he contacted former Packers Jerry Kramer and Willie Davis, who confirmed that to Lombardi on time meant exactly 15 minutes early. But Al, the clock was put up 5 months ago, and next to no one has noticed its symbolism.
It's amazing. People must drive by and think it's broken. But even a broken clock is right twice a day, but not that one. Alex Green, gain of 1 here.
You know, Tom Coughlin looks like an old softy next to Vince Lombardi.
Right.
It was 5 minutes ahead of time for him, and people with the Giants went crazy. So there you go, a little insight into Vince Lombardi.
When Tom sees this, he'll set it 15 in front.
20.
Every time we sit down with Coughlin, that watch is always 5 minutes ahead.
Yep.
2nd down and 9, the ball at the 25-yard line. And Rodgers slings it away. 3rd and 9.
You know, really a very patient approach. It's been almost a base cover 2, and I don't want to get too technical, but just 2 deep safeties, very soft, only rushing their front 4. You got your zebra coming in here in a minute, but they're just essentially taking away the big play from Aaron Rodgers. And it's not just the Detroit Lions that have done this year. There's Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, just trying to make sure that they don't get that big shot down the field and force this Packers offense to move slowly.
3rd and 9. Rodgers stepping up, throws, caught, 40-yard line, 1st down, big conversion. James Jones making the catch on a 3rd down and 9, the gain of 15.
Well, first of all, we'll start with the safeties on the back end. Look how deep these guys are, and then you're going to see that step up in here again. Rodgers just has a knack for being able to find that way with his eyes still down the field. You can see he doesn't look down at the pass rush, but somehow he just sort of feels where that gap is, and wherever it is, once he steps up, more often than not, somebody's in trouble. Sometimes he runs for a touchdown like he did before.
Number 42. Green. And Green across the 50-yard line. And that should be a first down. It gets tripped up by Ricardo Silva.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job inside. We talked about Don Barclay right here is going to come down on Ndamukong Suh. Doesn't devastate him by any means whatsoever. Maybe even held him a little bit. But that is been a good sign inside, and that's Jared Boykin on the outside. This is turning into a running game, or at least a balanced game for the Green Bay Packers.
Packers go no huddle, but not hurry up here from the 48-yard line. Pass caught on the outside by Boykin. And it's a 4-yard gain to the 44-yard line, tackled by Levy.
You know, Al, I really think the Green Bay Packers have a chance to go on a bit of a run. You know, we've talked about it a little bit already, but when Clay Matthews gets back, they really don't have that pass rush presence. They don't do a lot of the exotic looks in the back end with Charles Woodson when he's in there. And now they're starting to get a little running game going with guys like Don Barclay in there as well.
A lot of similarities to what they did 2 years ago. Inside handoff, and there's Levy, who's playing very well this season. Tulloch is there as well, stopping Alex Green. No gain.
Well, that time Tulloch just went unblocked. There he is right here. And Michael Finley got DeAndre Levy, kinda. And Tulloch, who came over as a free agent along with Justin Durant. Al and those guys were out there with their shirts off in pregame running around.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
No. 3rd and 6. And Rodgers throws, and that pass is incomplete. But you did that when you played in the 59 below wind chill game, right?
Yeah, right. Well, there's another one. That body's not quite as good as the we saw out there on the field. When I woke up the morning of the Freeze Bowl game, wind chill 59 below zero, the guy on the clock radio said, it's 11 below zero, the wind's blowing 35 miles an hour, wind chill 59 below. Whatever you do, don't let your dog outside today. Thinking this dog's not going anywhere.
Masto. And it's fair caught by Logan. Levy, a kid from Milwaukee, he's used to this weather. Amazing. Whatever it takes to keep you warm. Temperature 32. It's snowing since about 9:30 this morning.
I've never seen a hat looking at me before.
5.5 left in the 3rd. Detroit starts this drive from the 10-yard line. Stafford out of the gun. Hands it off to Joyce Bell. Gain of 1. 2nd and 9. So next week to Foxborough we go. Sunday Night Football is a beauty. The San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots. Football match starts 7 Eastern time. The NFC division leaders right now. Atlanta losing today to Carolina. Niners win over Miami to go to 9-3-1. Green Bay at 8-4. Remember that the 2nd spot, and you get the bye. And the Giants winning today against New Orleans are 8-5, and the number 4 spot at the moment.
Bears hoping for a gift from the Packers tonight. They just assumed Green Bay would beat Detroit here like they always do.
2nd and 9. That pass is incomplete. Stopping was Tony Scheffler coming across the middle to make it 3rd down and 9.
I can't always tell if the wind's whipping around like it is in the booth right now, but it is starting to pick up, and all of a sudden the passing games don't look so sharp. It was on 3rd down, Aaron Rodgers missed that throw, and now we're starting to see Matthew Stafford struggle a bit here too.
Seven of 8 on 3rd down. That play clock at 6. Snaps it at 2. And the pass is incomplete. Intended for Durham. It'll be 4th down.
Well, that's really the missing piece of the puzzle right now for Matthew Stafford. Can he find that other receiver? And they're trying Durham in this game. really haven't given him much of a chance to go up. He made that one diving catch early, but he's a 6'6" guy, and I thought they would just throw the ball up in the air to him a little bit more than what they have.
Nick Harris, this is his first punt of the night. They should wind up with pretty good field position here. Fair catch is called for right at the 50 by Randall Cobb. That's where the Packers take it. The game tied late third. Monday Night Football brought to you by GE. Tweet us your favorite brilliant machines. By the new Santa Fe from Hyundai. By Oblivion starring Tom Cruise this April. And by Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme. Football game tonight. Lambeau Field in the snow. Game tied. Detroit led at 14-0. Tied at 17. 4.5 to go, third quarter. Packers start this drive from the 50-yard line. Play action buys a lot of time, and then Cobb tries to one-hand it, and they give him the catch at the 27-yard line. Great catch by Cobb. And now Rodgers wants to get up there to make sure Detroit can't challenge this.
I don't think he has to worry about it too much. This is absolutely brilliant. He dropped one earlier, hauls that one in. Man, we've seen some good catches in these conditions.
To the 26-yard line. Nothing to challenge there. First down. That was good for 24 yards. Rodgers buying time and directing traffic, and he just flings it out of bounds. It'll be second down and 10.
Let's go back and look at Randall Cobb's catch one more time. This is the second one-hander we've seen in this game, and there's got it. No matter when possession was.
Souvenir.
It's like a hippie from back in the days.
Seaweed.
Still stuck in there.
Now that's tundra. Second and 10. And that pass is incomplete. Try to get it to Green. Third and 10.
Yeah, one of the interesting things we're seeing out of Aaron Rodgers is that when he wants to hold the ball is when he's going these play-action plays, you know, because he needs a little help up front. I think they've discovered that over the past few weeks or whatever. But when he's willing to get the ball out of his hands quickly, then he'll go ahead and go drop back. But right now the Lions are doing a pretty good job of taking away that first look, and it's forcing Aaron to scramble out.
Third and 10. In trouble and sacked back at the 34. Nick Fairley will get the sack, and that will turn a tie-breaking field goal attempt, if they so choose, to about a 52-yarder.
Working against Evan Dietrich Smith, who's in there for TJ Lang, and Nick Fairley, we talked about how well he's been playing, walks Evan Dietrich Smith right back to Aaron Rodgers and makes this a monster shot for Mason Crosby.
That was an 8-yard sack, so now you've got a 52-yard attempt instead of a 44-yard attempt.
He's not been good at these.
And this kick is no good. Wide to the left. So Crosby made one earlier from 49, misses from 52, and that sack was big. Well, it's that time of year again on NBC with Carly Rae Jepsen, Rod Stewart, and Blake Shelton. Don't miss Michael Bublé home for the holidays tomorrow night, right here on NBC.
I'll tell you, remember that sack by Nick Fairley. That was a major play in the game. Not only does the sack drive them back, they missed the field goal, but it flipped the field position. Remember, the Lions had sort of been backed up and having to punt out of their own end. Now you flip it, they get the ball into 42 coming out. Much easier from here.
First down from the 42-yard line as they start this drive. And this is the short. Lions trying to break a 4-game losing streak. They were 4-4, now 4-8.
Right here's the matchup. And really, he just is going to do the old bull rush and walk him right back into Aaron Rodgers. There's no move involved, and it was really the backside of Evan Dietrich Smith that ends up making the sack. I'll tell you, when Nick Fairley gets it going, he had some foot problems a year ago, and then that extra 8 yards was enough to push that one out of there.
Definitely. 2nd and 7 from the 45. Again on the inside, the handoff, and some tough running here by the short flag. Pretty busy night for Correntes' crew.
Holding, offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
It's the left guard, that's Rob Sims with a hold.
Well, one thing they liked about Tony Correntes' staff, I don't think Rob Sims is quite buying into that one, was that he was a disciplined guy and wasn't going to let this thing get out of hand. Let's take a look right here. Walks down Daniels. Yeah, a little grab of the pad, and I tell you, sometimes it's easier to see the little holds than it is the big holds. You see that shoulder pad being lifted up. We got you.
2nd and 17. Johnson. He'll get stopped at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
You know, it's just so strange watching the Green Bay Packers defense without Clay Matthews out there. You were always seeing the offense having to double team. Now they've got, you know, Eric Walden's done fine, Desmond Moses done fine, 3 sacks apiece. But there's not that star player on the field right now that draws the double teams. And that's what creates the one-on-one matchups for everybody else. And to me, that's the difference in this defense. Him more than anything else.
Snap it at 1. On 3rd and 6. Caught. 1st down and more for Joique Bell. To the Green Bay 39 he goes, 1st down.
One of the things that the Lions were unable to do last time these two teams met was win the one-on-one battles against the linebackers. So many teams now playing that 2-man coverage where it's man-to-man on everybody underneath and then 2 deep safeties helping over the top. But Joique Bell's not only run the ball well, that is a huge 3rd down conversion in the passing game.
It turned off the sound machine here at Lambeau Field. Final minute, 3rd quarter. Johnson makes the catch. Tackled by Morgan Burnett. Gain of about 6.
Well, you start getting down inside the 40-yard line, and Dom Capers is going to start dialing up some blitzes now. They brought it all off the edge this time. Here they come. Nice read by Stafford. It was to his open side. Get it to Calvin Johnson. You'll take 6 yards on 1st down.
To the 34-yard line. Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator. 2nd down and 5 with the ball at the 34. LeSure. That's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 3 when we come back to start the 4th. End of 3 at Lambeau. Detroit 17, Green Bay 17. And Sunday Night Football from Green Bay back after these messages. Cable cam coverage tonight brought to you by Geico. Lambeau Field, Green Bay. Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football. Big game in the NFC North for the Green Bay Packers, and the Chicago Bears have a lot of interest in this one as well. Game's tied at 17. It's 3rd and 4 at the 33-yard line for the Detroit Lions, who've been very proficient tonight on 3rd and 4th down. 9 of 12 overall converting. Can they do it again? And it's almost picked off. No flag here. Intended for Durham. Sam Shields, who had an earlier interception, covering on the play, and it's 4th down.
It looked for a while like Devon House was going to take Sam Shields' job, but I tell you, Sam Shields' return to this game has been huge. Already has the interception, and that was a 3rd down play. They were going directly after him, and he was up to the task. So I'll tell you, Al, these young corners for the Green Bay Packers are playing much better as we've gone down the stretch.
51-yard field goal attempt for Hansen. After Crosby had missed a 52-yarder, Hansen's kick at the age of 42, no good. Just short.
Well, he had been 2 for 2 over 50 yards and over 50% in his career, but a lot of those kicks in the dome in these conditions, not quite.
And that gives Green Bay good field position.
Flips it right back. You know, now we were talking about, do you take that one and punt it away and try and let your defense continue to play the way that they were? Instead, they try for it and now flip the field position right back.
Second week of December, so much at stake, not only in the division, but you begin to think about those playoff seedings right now overall in each of the conferences.
Yeah, and playing for home field here in Lambeau, a lot of teams cheering against the Packers would prefer not to come here in January and play.
But the Giants don't mind it.
They don't mind at all, no.
They've handled it in the past. First down with the ball at the 41-yard line. And here's Green for the Chicago Bears, who lost today at Minnesota. Another big day for Adrian Peterson. If Green Bay wins, Chicago's is a game back, plus they've already lost to them, and they meet next week, meaning if Green Bay wins tonight and goes into Chicago, wins next week, they'd win the division. Minnesota's still in there. Detroit just the role of spoiler right now after getting to the playoffs last year and losing a wild card game to the Saints.
I'll tell you, with Adrian Peterson's ability to run the football come bad weather time, he's going to have some edges.
2nd and 4. Here's Green. Forced out by Durant. The Packers go to Chicago. The Tennessee comes here 2 days before Christmas. Then they finish at Minnesota. The Bears, of course, have Green Bay next week. Then they go to Arizona and they go to Detroit. So the Bears' final home game will be next Sunday against the Packers at Soldier Field. Third and 2. On a delay, they give the ball to Alex Green for a first down. Green doing a nice job tonight. Second year back, University of Hawaii, 11 carries, 58 yards.
Well, when Ndamukong Suh decides to take the outside path, they rip it back inside of him. Just a 4-man rush that time, and Aaron Rodgers, that's just a nice audible at the line of scrimmage. You saw they stayed in the nickel defense. And great quarterbacks learn. Nothing wrong with handing it off in that situation occasionally. Makes them play it differently.
Under the full backfield here. They give the ball to Green to the outside. He goes. And Green picks up 9 yards. The Green Bay running game, so reminiscent of what happened in 2010. They had Brandon Jackson. They lost him. They got James Starks coming at the end of the year. He led them through postseason play, and they're going to have that same sort of dynamic this year.
I'll tell you, this Don Barclay has not backed off at all. Now, he's a little feisty, maybe gets a little whole bit of a situation there, but one thing we've noticed about him, and the players confirmed it for us, he doesn't back down. This was not too big for him, and if he can play right tackle, opens up putting TJ Lang back at left guard, and they get pretty solid.
And the crowd just saw that Ryan Grant has come back, and Ryan Grant on his first carry as he rejoins the Packers takes it to the 20-yard line. So this Lambeau crowd, they loved Grant when he was here, didn't sign him this year, picks up 13 yards, just get him back this week, want to use him in a role where he kind of spells Green a little bit, and Starks is hurt. So Ryan Grant, a very popular guy here in Green Bay, and they salute him as he comes in and now goes out again.
Yeah, he won't need one of those jackets. He's warm now. I tell you, the thing that he could be for this team is the closer. You know, the guy that at the end of the game, he's a heavy runner, tough guy to tackle, and defenses get tired.
Now DeJuan Harris is in it, and he slips down and gets back up because he wasn't touched and is able to take the ball to the 14-yard line. So they've got Harris, they've got Green, they've got Grant. We talked about the fact Cedric Benson was their #1 guy, but he's hurt. And Starks got hurt, and they hope to have him back in postseason. So it's a little mix and match, as it was in 2010 at the end at running back.
Yeah, but now, there is a strong running side on this football team with Barclay, who's a good run blocker, Josh Sitton, probably their best run blocker up front. And I think that you're starting to see McCarthy, especially in these kinds of conditions, being willing to go to it now in key situations in the game.
2nd and 4. Here's Harris. Harris! Touchdown, Green Bay. DeJuan Harris, who carried the ball on Green Bay's first play of the night, goes 14. Nice block by Dietrich Smith, and Green Bay has the lead.
Go down, pull around, and here we go. That's a combination block. That's understanding. You had to get up to the second level by Don Barclay. Nice by Josh Sitton over there. Good kick out by Dietrich Smith, and not many walk-in touchdowns from about 20 yards out, but that was all running game for the Packers.
Extra point by Crosby. Well, Detroit dominated early, especially on the ground, but all of a sudden now, Green Bay has 142 rushing yards and a 7-point lead with 10:45 left. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Verizon. Share the holidays with the Share Everything plan by Lexus. This is the pursuit of perfection. By Outback Steakhouse, it's always fresh in the Outback. And by The Hobbit, an unexpected journey in theaters everywhere, December 14th. And on this 9th night of December, Will Ferrell is here tonight. The Los Angeles Kings aren't playing, so he has to find a team to lead cheers for, so he comes to Green Bay.
Those roll out the barrel.
Right. Stephon Logan brings it back to the 27-yard line. The crowd in a rendition of Roll Out the Barrel. 24-17 Green Bay. Well, the snow has abated. The frivolity is not. Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Detroit down by 7 now at the 27-yard line. Beginning this drive. Start with a Stafford pass over the middle. He goes. Gain of 8. Flag down. That's Will Heller, tight end, making the catch.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
B.J. Raji says, what? Where is
Joique Bell, the running back, is going to be the recipient of this one. Watch this. There you go.
That would be hands to the face.
And forearms and wrists and elbows and everything else to the face. What? That can't be illegal. Look at that.
Guy's still alive. First down at the 32. The outside, that's Heller making the catch again for a gain of about 7 yards. Talked about that 20-game home winning streak against the Lions, regular season since '92. Only 3 guys have quarterbacked the Packers over that time. Of course, Favre, Rodgers, and we'll tell you about Flynn in a second. The Lions have had 12 starting quarterbacks in that 2-decade run. Last year, when Rodgers was rested because the Packers had already secured the bye going into the playoffs, they gave the starting job to Matt Flynn that night. He made a fortune with a phenomenal day. Got a big contract in Seattle, and where is he? He's back on the bench again because of Russell Wilson. Here's Bell taking it to the 41-yard line.
Don't you think they found a little something here in Joique Bell? I mean, this guy has, to me, it's more about lateral quickness as a running back because the holes are very rarely where you think they're going to be, so you have to make those little jump cuts and moves. He showed what he could do in the passing game. I'll tell you, I think it could be a factor for this team.
Jim Schwartz has watched LaSure doing most of the heavy lifting of late. The Bells come along, so a little bit of low in the night. 3rd and 1. Now they hand the ball off to Bell, and he's going to move the chains. First down at the 43-yard line.
Well, for this defensive line, they are going to have to do some heavy lifting in here because they continue to try and just let Pickett and Raji inside take control. But again, without a Clay Matthews, you don't see the X factor. You don't, they would loop him around and they would stun him and they do a couple crazy things. And, now it's a little bit more of a basic approach.
8:15 left in regulation. To the outside goes the pass that's incomplete. Intended for Chris Durham. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 8:09 to play in the 4th.
Yeah, his teammates from Georgia not helping too much. This is a good route. Chris Durham got open on the play. I think working against Sam Shields, they had the blitz and they had the one-on-one. Another opportunity. In this league, you don't get many opportunities and you have to take advantage. Still haven't thrown him a jump ball kind of a deal yet. He's much taller than anybody guarding him down the field.
6'6", 216 pounds is Durham. 2nd and 10. Back to the ground. And Bell gets stuffed after a short game. Big 3rd and 8 coming up.
It's a really nice play inside by A.J. Hawk that time, the leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. They've been through so many inside linebackers this season. Desmond Bishop hurt D.J. Smith. So it's really fallen on A.J. Hawk to have to fill in and be that run stuffer. Leading tackler, he's done a good job.
3rd and 8. Stafford staying in the pocket, and the pass is incomplete. Tony Scheffler could not make the catch. Stafford hits the deck. It's 4th down.
Just man-to-man coverage underneath, and I think that was Casey Hayward, who has had a fantastic year. You want to talk about an unsung hero now. 5 interceptions. Yes, it's a tight end, but they're going to him as a slot receiver so many times on 3rd down. And he answered the bell for him yet again. Fantastic season for Casey Hayward.
And Harris's kick is off the side of his foot, and Cobb fields at the 25-yard line, skirts the sideline, and brings it all the way out past the 40-yard line. With 7:11 to go in Green Bay, and the Packers up by a touchdown. Jay Leno this week. Who's he got? Well, among others, he's got Hugh Jackman. Bette Midler will be there. Albert Brooks comes in as well. The Tonight Show this week. Jay Leno right here on NBC. Green Bay, Wisconsin on this Sunday night. Very light snow right now. From the 37, Rodgers starts to slip and then goes deep downfield into triple coverage and incomplete, intended for James Jones. In commercial, a little collegiality out on the field. Penny for their thoughts. What do you think, Chris?
I think Aaron Rodgers is lobbying. Aaron, we've heard him talk about it before. There's a certain way to play the game. And of course, everybody thinks that Ndamukong Suh pushes the limits a little bit, and I'm sure he's saying, it's be a lot better if you didn't hit me in the head or anything like that. And I'm sure Michael Jordan used to do a little bit of that too. Try and talk down his opponents, make him think he was his friend, and then wear him out for 4 quarters.
That's what the great ones do. Timeout taken here by Green Bay with 7:04 to play. A lot of streaks in play. One of those would be Rodgers, a touchdown pass in each of his last 35 home games. That's over 4 years worth. Dan Marino, the record at 39. He's not throwing one tonight. Aaron is 13 of 22 for 135. No TDs, no picks. Toss to DeJuan Harris. after the Green Bay timeout, and he is taken down as we tick down under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Don't you remember how James Starks in their Super Bowl run, and there's Jacob Lacey down.
And we take an injury timeout. Lacey was all right. He came off the field, has to come out for at least this play. Tale of two halves in the rushing game there. Detroit in the first half 117. Green Bay here in the second half 99. And now it's 3rd down and 11 for Green Bay. Detroit with just 3 defensive linemen on the field.
And they really showed it. They didn't even make a late substitution. They showed it and gave Rodgers a chance to think about this.
3rd and 11. 3-man rush. 8 back. Rodgers stepping up, throws on the run, caught inside the 50. Randall Cobb takes it to the 28-yard line. So they couldn't get any pressure on Rodgers. Buys time, finds Cobb, and they convert a 3rd and 11 for 36 yards.
Great quarterbacks understand against a 3-man rush, zone defenses break down if you can buy time back there. That's exactly what Aaron Rodgers did. He just moved around until Cobb could find himself open. And I guarantee you, Rodgers, with all that time to think about it, because they showed it so early, had that in mind. He said, you're going to rush 3, I'm going to buy a little time and burn you.
It's a great point. They stood out there with the same 11, 3 linemen, 8 guys back, and timeout here with 5.5. You started to say before we went to the commercial break, do you remember back in 2010? And you were going to say what?
I was talking about James Starks as soon as we went to commercial. You go, yeah, I remember James Starks. You finished the thought for me. But the point is that now this is the 2nd game in a row where they've been around 150 yards rushing. And Starks in that Super Bowl run, they weren't much of a running team then either. All of a sudden got the running game going, and they ultimately had the balance. And so this is a team that you just wonder if they could get on that same kind of a run offensively, running the ball here as we head for the playoffs.
And they did it in 2010 with a lot of key injuries, as was the case this year. Now they're going to get Matthews back maybe next week. They're going to get Woodson back maybe next week. They got Shields back tonight. Randall Cobb thrown through 7 times with 7 catches. And along the way, a lot of the young guys have gotten a lot of great experience.
No question about it. I think that's a great point, especially in the secondary. Forever it had been Charles Woodson just running the show on the back end. Well, now they couldn't do that anymore. M.D. Jennings, Morgan Burnett had to do it. We were talking to Tramon Williams about that a little bit yesterday. And he said, we make so many calls on the back end. The problem last year was we weren't getting any reaction from the guys. We're communicating to linebackers. They weren't saying anything back, so we blew some coverages, and they gave up big plays all year. They've really cleaned that up this season.
2nd and 9. And Rodgers now milking the clock. And this is Harris. So the Packers here, they are retooling, able to withstand injuries. I mean, Ted Thompson's really done a great job with this team, and Mike McCarthy as well since 06. One thing about the Packers, they believe in homegrown guys. 45 of the 53 guys on the Green Bay roster, there is Ted Thompson, have only played for Green Bay in the NFL. Meanwhile, Detroit, only 24 of their 53, which would be the lowest in the league, have played only for the Lions.
Well, I think Lions fans would agree they didn't want to keep a lot of that 0-16 crowd around there either. So
good point.
They had a little turnover they needed to do.
3rd and 7. Rodgers taking that play clock all the way to 0, and then throws too high, intended for Greg Jennings. So that'll make it 4th down and 7. But if Crosby can convert, it will be a 2-possession lead with a little more than 4 minutes to play.
Aaron Rodgers took another pretty good shot that time. I think it was fairly again. I couldn't exactly tell on the field. But the Detroit Lions are not shy about, well, they say play to the echo of the whistle. Well, that time, the echo of the whistle was in Aaron Rodgers' ears.
41-yard attempt for Crosby. He's made from 49, missed from 52, and this one is good. Crosby connects, and Green Bay goes up by 10 with 4 to play.
Nick Fairley with a pretty good shot at the end of that play on Aaron Rodgers, and you're going to see him. And this is pretty well after the fact. Ball out, and now grab him up underneath the chin and throw him back. Almost injured Don Barclay, which would have been a disaster. But Aaron Rodgers said, you play these guys, that's just part of it. And a lot of these Packers feel like this rivalry is more intense than any other team in their division because of the way the Lions play.
Right. As the kickoff is fielded by Riley Reif, the rookie out of Iowa, who was their #1 pick this year. He runs the ball back out to about the 30-yard line, so they're going to start from that spot. 1st and 10. 10-point Green Bay lead.
Josh Sitton, the offensive lineman, was telling us there's a line between playing hard and playing dirty, and the Detroit Lions walk the line. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They walk the line. But if I had a football team, I'd want them to walk the line too.
Stafford throws, and it's almost intercepted by Sam Shields, who already has 1 pick tonight, coming back after missing almost 2 months. 2nd and 10.
They've taken a lot of shots at Chris Durham in this game, but give Sam Shields credit. He's come back after missing a lot of football, almost comes up with his 2nd interception of the game. And you go right down the list. M.D. Jennings with a pick 6 that won the first Lions game. Morgan Burnett with 2 huge interceptions last week. This young secondary is growing up.
Stafford on 2nd and 10 has it deflected, incomplete. Mike Daniels was the deflector. Of course, Mike Daniels has already had in his rookie season his all-time career highlight tonight on that gift touchdown.
Lambeau leap.
Third and 10. The crowd knows they can almost salt it away here unless Detroit considers this to be a 4-down situation, which they well could. First things first, though, on 3rd and 10. And that pass will be caught, so that'll render that move by Calvin Johnson, who pays the price, who gets banged out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 1st down, Detroit.
Working against Casey Hayward, that same sort of 2-man coverage right out here. And this is just a heck of a throw by Matthew Stafford. Had to kind of get it up over the top and kept the drive alive. I'll tell you, they have done some job, the Packers have, on taking Calvin Johnson, who had not had less than 125 yards in any of his last 5 games. They've shut him down pretty well here.
Number 43, and the flag is down. There was a whistle not heard by the crowd or us before the snap.
Start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty remains. 1st down.
Gosder Chiroulis. Johnson tonight going over the 1,500-yard mark in consecutive years, so he joins Andre Johnson of the Texans and Marvin Harrison as the only guys to accomplish that in NFL history. 8 catches for 85 yards tonight. 94 for the season, 94 catches, and on a pace to break Jerry Rice's yardage mark. And that is caught by Bell, who gets upended at the 42-yard line by Casey Hayward.
Now, once again, though, Joique Bell getting open, beating the linebacker Brad Jones, which is a good sign for Jim Schwartz, but too little too late unless they can pick up the pace here.
It was a 4-yard gain, makes it 2nd down and 11. And the pass is caught. Johnson makes the catch, and Johnson bangs his way inside the 45-yard line for a Lion 1st down to 3 minutes left in regulation.
I tell you, you can't underestimate losing Brandon Pettigrew, too. He really is the alternate threat to Calvin Johnson. You take him out of the mix, and it gets pretty thin as far as receivers go.
From the 44. sidearm shot is incomplete, and Bell looks around and says, come on, that's a hole on Brad Jones. No flag. 2nd and 10.
Well, Brad Jones has seen enough of Joique Bell coming out of the backfield and probably did get a little grab. This is the toughest thing, I think, one of the toughest things in football. Right here's the matchup. And you could go either direction. The linebackers try and meet him in the hole. Maybe a little grab there, but veteran play got away with it.
2nd and 10, and Johnson goes to the bench on this play. 2nd and 10 from the 44. Packers, for the moment, showing blitz. And here they come. And again, a sidearm fling is almost picked off this time by the rookie Hayward. 3rd and 10.
You know, Matthew Stafford, he gets away with a lot of these, but watch this throw. It's just a little flip, and because of the weird arm angle, I think sometimes he's an accurate thrower, but you get a little too crazy, you just have to have that angle off a bit, and all of a sudden it goes behind the receiver, and really it could have been interception number 6 for Casey Hayward.
3rd and 10, Johnson back in. 2.5 to go. To the outside, and that is incomplete. Intended for Tony Scheffler, and that's Hayward right there again, the rookie 2nd rounder out of Vanderbilt. 4th down.
Stafford took a shot there, but here is one of the bright young players in the game today. This Casey Hayward has made plays all season, and you think about who he's replacing. Charles Woodson, boy, that was a big shot from Worthy, I think it was.
It was.
Ball game.
Stafford was trying to walk it off. Regroups. Play clock at 5. 4th and 10. And Stafford over the middle, and it is picked off at the 19-yard line. And that's Jerron McMillan. And they say he was down at the 19 at that spot. So he will get the interception. Hardly matters here. An incompletion, basically the same thing as the Green Bay Packers hold and take over with a 10-point lead.
Watch the throwing angle. Again, well behind the receiver going across the field. Tried to hit Scheffler and just sort of threw a hanging curveball in the middle. Of course, you got to force it down the field at that point.
It's one of these weird things where every turnover gets reviewed. And if this gets reviewed and they take the interception away,
it helps them.
It actually helps Green Bay in terms of the yardage.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be incomplete. I think the Packers are going to get the benefit of the yardage back too.
Right. Technically, it's a turnover, even though in either case you're going to give the ball back. So they'll look at it upstairs. And if they rule incomplete, then Green Bay will get the ball farther upfield.
They're starting to get a little feeling going here in Green Bay. I think this crowd's starting to say, you know what? We're starting to feel this a little bit. Such a weird deal.
A very weird deal here. Because if they rule it's incomplete, instead of the 18-yard line, the ball was at the 44.
Tell you, after watching the Packers secondary play last year, make all those mistakes, to see them make play after play after play, and now even the mistakes they made end up working out in their favor.
Right.
You know, last year every mistake they made ended up in the end zone.
Well, the ball helps him, or the ground helps him control the ball, so this will probably get overturned. They'll take the interception away from him.
They drafted a lot of young players on this team, just year after year. And now Devon House and Casey Hayward and Morgan Burnett, Jerron McMillan, M.D. Jennings, they're ready. You know, now you're going to throw Charles Woodson back into the mix as almost a complimentary guy, and now you get some of the exotic stuff back that he can bring to the table. And, hey, playoffs, here we go. Got a little running game going. Starting to look like the Packers.
And through it all, you have Aaron Rodgers. You know, Schwartz had that look, you know, I can't win for losing. And McCarthy can only smile about it because they're going to lose the interception, and it works to their benefit. In any event, Detroit does have its timeouts. They do have the 2-minute warning. They can't extend it. You know, we saw that little interchange before between Rodgers and Sue. It's funny, you know, we've sat with Sue 3 or 4 times now in the last couple of years. He's a very different guy than you might think he is.
You know, he's got such a reputation as being this crazy man on the field.
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground before any possession by the receiver. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. On downs, Green Bay receives the ball at the 41-yard line, first down. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 2:26. 2:26, thank you.
But, you know, Sue, you know, he has this wild reputation. He, you know, pushes the envelope, a little dirty, whatever the case may be. And yet he's really pretty soft-spoken, you know, humble sort of guy when you're dealing with him. And obviously a guy that understands all that's going on around him. So, but, you know, he, as in his own words, he flips the switch when he gets out there. And I don't think he really cares what anybody thinks.
Almost demure when he comes into those meetings. Smart guy. He does get it. I asked him about the dichotomy, and he said, "Hey, look," he said, "I'm just very passionate about football." Gain of 2 here for Alex Green, and Detroit will use its first timeout. Second down and 8. Big one. We'll go to Foxborough next Sunday night, and it will be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the New England Patriots. Battle of division leaders. Football night gets it started at 7 o'clock Eastern time. A beauty next Sunday night.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Bring a little of the RG3 kind of stuff to the 49ers, and it's going to be interesting to see how they match up against the Patriots. You know, the Patriots, a defense, they got a lot of young guys playing, and Bill Belichick always sort of gets young ones ready for the postseason, which they can almost assume anymore that they're going to be in the postseason. And so we've got some good young players that we're going to get a chance to see in the playoffs this year, and we'll see how they hold up.
And each of those teams trying to wind up in a position where they would get a bye in the playoffs. And this is John Kuhn taken down for a loss, and Detroit can spend another timeout here with 2:18 left. Quarterbacks tonight. Stafford, of course, got off to that very hot start. There are the numbers up to the moment. One big interception against Stafford, and also, of course, the lost fumble.
Well, for me, the story has been taking away Calvin Johnson and the way they've been able to run the football. There's Ryan Grant. Welcome back to Ryan Grant. Good to have him back. Looks good in the Green Bay Packer uniform again, but Alex Green has stepped up. You know, this is a running game that was averaging under 4 yards per carry and not very efficient at all. And yet tonight, against a very good defensive line, they've been able to take over the game at times, and the go-ahead touchdown was almost exclusively with the running game.
From the 41, Rodgers finds nothing there. Just slides to a stop at the 31-yard line, and Detroit can take its final timeout. So they'll get the ball back with the clock ticking down to the 2-minute warning, and still down in a 2-possession game.
But a smart play by Aaron Rodgers by not throwing the ball away there forces Detroit to use one of their timeouts. Pretty good player, isn't he? You know, the amazing thing is we'd be sitting here talking about, oh man, the numbers this guy has put up is just absolutely remarkable this year, except when you compare it to what he did last year. He was off the charts with the numbers that he had.
Well, we did their game with Houston in the middle of October. Remember, the Packers were 2-3. They'd lost to San Francisco on opening day. They'd lost to Seattle in the Fail Mary game on Monday night. They'd lost to Indianapolis, coughing up a lead. And Rodgers walked into that meeting in Houston and he said, outside, the sky is falling. Inside, we're just fine. And they have won 6 of 7, going on 7 of 8 since then. From the 23-yard line, The next drive will begin for Stafford, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning with the Green Bay Packers at one point down by 14, now up by 10. Meanwhile, coming up next, the Wendy's postgame report. Michelle down on the field, Bob Toney and Mike Florio break it down, look around the league. Chris and I will look ahead to that great matchup next week in Foxborough between the 49ers and the Patriots.
That was almost the Super Bowl last year, wasn't it?
Very close.
Very close indeed.
49ers and Giants going to overtime, and a great one in San Francisco. There's Kyle Vanden Bosch.
It's been a strange year for the Detroit Lions. All those games last year that came down to the wire and they won. This year they all came down the wire and they lost. It's just the complete opposite of what they went through a season ago. But the curse of Wisconsin continues for this franchise.
Since 2002, that's the year they went to this format for realignment of the divisions. 14-50. The Detroit Lions going on 51 right now from the 22 on first down. Stafford throws, and that is caught by Durham, but he can't even get out of bounds. They don't have a timeout. First down.
Well, even if you can get it down to field goal range, you could take a shot at making the kick. Go onside and see what happens.
Yep. Goes either way when you're down by 10. That is caught in the middle of the field up to the 42-yard line. Packers will give them all of the 6-7-yard gains they want. Will Heller making the catch. Good for 8. Second and 2. Lions on the verge of their 5th consecutive defeat. And deep downfield, that is incomplete with a flag down as Tremont Williams. Has had a good night, all things considered. Taking care of one Calvin Johnson. You look at Johnson's numbers, and they're good, 9 for 98. But
not
good job by Williams.
Yeah, illegal contact, defense number 38. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Definitely contact, just a matter of who ran into whom. Yep, there you go. Just one-on-one, as it's been a lot of the time. Almost looked like it was sort of a relaxed moment there. Tremont kind of used Calvin to bounce off of him to make that turn, and got flagged.
Now from the 48. Three-man rush. Dell to the 43-yard line. Tackled by Brad Jones. Down inside 50 seconds. Get it down 10 or 15 more yards. You bring Hanson in, and then you try the onside kick.
Got a shot.
Stafford going deep, and it's tipped away and incomplete. And that's Williams on the other side of the field this time, helping to guard Scheffler. Third down.
You know, they've got a lot of big guys on the field right now, but they really just don't have that dynamic player that we're used to seeing with Detroit. You know, Nate Burleson can work quickly in there. This kid Ryan Broyles, who came out, was starting to be a factor for him. Titus Young should be a factor. Got a lot of big, tight bodies out there now, so maybe at least a good shot for a Hail Mary.
You just named the guys that would be 2, 3, and 4 on the receiver depth chart behind Calvin Johnson. Third and 2. And that's caught over the middle. And taking it to the 34-yard line is Bell. And this is where, I guess, you should, for the first down, you should actually try a field goal here. Instead, they're going to spike the ball at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, I guess the problem was Hanson was short on the one right at 50.
Yep.
And there would be about 52, 53 at this point.
Academic. Talking about Johnson chasing Rice's mark. The yardage record that's held since 1995. through 13 games, and you can see Johnson ahead of the pace set by Rice. But Rice closed with a major flourish to set the record that still stands. 2nd down and 10, and that pass is caught by a sliding Johnson, and he's out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, I think you got to kick it here now. Yep, and they're going to send it on. I agree with this one, because whatever time you have left at the end of the onside kick, you just hope to take one big throw into the end zone and get the Hail Mary, but you have to have both.
Simple as that. They need a 34-yard field goal. They need a recovered onside kick, and then a Hail Mary. Apart from that, not much. 34-yard attempt. And he makes it to make it a 7-point game. So at 27-20, you have 7 seconds. Clock will start when the ball is touched.
Exactly. And Al, I think the key here is for Jim Schwartz is you've got to do an onside kick that is going to take you close enough to do the Hail Mary. So instead of being right at 10 yards, you might have to bounce it a little bit farther down the field so that hopefully you get it around the 50 and have that shot.
But you don't want a Packer to touch it and not recover it and then have it bounce around and the clock run out on you.
Here we go. We all know the strategy now, and as a general rule, what they do is they take this front wall and block now, and then they have a receiver behind that wall, and it looks like that's going to be Tramon Williams at the bottom of the screen. So all these guys are going to block and just try and give Tramon a free chance to catch the ball, and of course they've got the same thing on the other side of the screen.
Put in the odds of this at 793 to 1 to recover it and make a Hail Mary. So again, well, the ball is now going to bounce out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So they had the right idea, but they bounced it out of bounds, and that's going to, in effect, end it.
I tell you, that had a little chance. That was that spinner that we've seen a few more kickers do now, where you put that little spin and it almost hits and is like a top when it hits, but it just spun itself right out of bounds. Wasn't that kind of what New Orleans did in the Super Bowl when they recovered that one, put that little funky spin on the ball?
And that was the unanticipated onside kick. 3rd straight loss after leading by 10 or more points. Chris talking about last year was the year of the major comeback, and the game really turned here. Detroit off to a hot start, moving the ball again. Ball slips out of Stafford's hands. Picked up and running by Daniels for a touchdown. A kneel down will end it here. The Green Bay Packers have now won 7 of their last 8. The Lions have lost 5 in a row. The Lions still haven't won in Wisconsin in forever. And Green Bay will go to Chicago next week with a chance to clinch the division if they can beat the Bears at Soldier Field. Wendy's postgame show is coming up next. Michael Cunningham. Some words for Aaron Rodgers, who finished 14 of 24 for 173. Wendy's coming up after these messages from your local NBC station.